All right, hey, thanks for tuning in for this week's live stream. I'm going to be working on a retrofit again. For those who don't know, Retrofit is a compatibility layer I wrote to run your Drupal 7 code in Drupal 10, and could be a tool going forward to keep running legacy Drupal code inside modern versions of Drupal to help teams, teams have to battle feature development and bug fixes, and then also a third front with deprecated code, or legacy code, let's say. So this could help alleviate that front as Drupal progresses. So last time I worked on this was about 2 weeks ago for a live stream where I got theme function support added. I fiddled with it a bit offline and hardened some access control callback around callables, and then fixed the theme function replacement or implementation. Instead of going to the diff, why don't we just load it up here? So inside theme, it wasn't working quite right. And hey, thanks for joining in. So now hook theme, it works a little bit better. It's still not the right way, but it's a little bit closer. And that's the whole idea here. So building a compatibility layer, it's not going to be perfect. So it's kind of just improving as we go and as usage is adopted. So what I wanted to work on next is we got theme function support added. And that was done via, there's the Goldblum. Hey, thanks. So where I left off is theme function support was added. And what this does is it calls the previous, it actually invokes the legacy theme hook. In Drupal 7, you could write a function that returned HTML. With Drupal 8+, it uses Twig. So this creates a Twig function to invoke those. Now, what I want to do is get back to this theming example. If you didn't catch the previous stream, there's the examples module in Drupal that is for developers to see examples. I've taken the Drupal 7 one and kind of started copying in that code and using it as my test fixtures to make sure we're adding working compatibility layers instead of just shooting in the dark. So the next one is this good old tpl.php. Drupal 7 used PHPTemplate, or like a fork of it, or like a version of it. That was before my time when that was added and used. I started Drupal in like end of 2012, early 2013, which was like in the heyday of Drupal 7. So what we need now is figure out how to render this template using Twig. And what I dove into before is Drupal does support custom theme engines. So the default one is Twig. I could technically port the PHPTemplate theme engine, but the template engine is determined by the active theme. So it's like all in or nothing. And if a theme said it used PHPTemplate, then all the existing Twig templates would break. So we got to try to find ways to make these things work with Twig. So this was one example of that theming example content array. I believe it was one example of using hook theme test. Let's see here. Oh, and this goes to the pages. Yeah, but we've got, what was this template called? Theming example text form. So that's going to be right here, and the render element is form, and this is the template. So, why does this say text form here? This is going to be mean. So let's go look at any usages of this form, simple form 1. So here's the, oh boy. So it's a theme. Wait a second. Hold on. I'm looking at hook menu here. Sorry, this is, no, I'm not. Sorry, I didn't know you could do this in Drupal 7. So it's got a pre-process function. This is actually the page argument and a theme function at the same time. Well, that's something different. I'm not sure how to handle that one. I didn't know you could do that. Hold on. So this theme hook, saying the render element form, I'm going to compare something I know of in commerce that we did with product. So let's look at product. This is a little bit different because the theme hook theme, we have commerce product form. The difference is it's not a actual callback function, but it says that the template is going to be commerce dash product dash twig. But when we invoke the theme, text form submit, so this pre-processed text form content, text form, where does text form come into play? Text form is implode text form content, Drupal render, oh goodness. New variables text form, clean up the output, Drupal return the array keys. So maybe this is going to be an example that's a bit hard to go through. Because I didn't know you could do this in Drupal 7 or how we're going to translate it. So it's essentially going through, let's go back. I'm going to go to source, product module, and template. I'm going to try to reconstruct what I know from Drupal 8 plus. So hook theme. So we've got commerce product form. Inside our templates, we got commerce product form. Then product source. I guess it would also help if I had a D7 site running this. That would make it a bit easier to figure out what's going on. But let's go to the form and product form, right? That's what we're looking at. So in here, we had to explicitly define the theme for it. And it looks like maybe in Drupal 7, it just automatically would theme it that way. So I don't really know what to do. And this is the only example with the template, and it's a confusing one. So I guess we'll just make it work, and if it's the right way or not, it doesn't matter. It's at least something that's working. So let's go ahead and work on this test. That's all we can do. So this theming template example form is at this route. What's this select form? Select form. Where does this go? Oh, wait. So this is again another callback. Let's just go for it and we'll see what happens. So let's go create a test. Public function test theming example. Select form. Void, not void, void. Let's do this. Set up current user. Right. Access arguments, access content. Let me do. Way to go, Copilot. That's exactly what I wanted, I think. Yep. All right, so let's do the request. And we're going to, so that's the page argument. So wild that this worked, that the form also set the theme. So what I should do is go to Drupal core. And I'm going to look at the Drupal get form function. Because I did not replace that. I just replaced the function with a controller, and I'm wondering if I'll need to modify that a bit. Okay, so let's look for function Drupal get form. Dissect this a bit. Because I wonder if it puts the form ID as the theme. So function, Drupal get form, build info args, Drupal build form. Please be the next one. Yes, it is. Form state input, batch, check cache, loads from the form cache, Drupal retrieve form, prepare form. So let's go to function Drupal retrieve form. So form state build info. There's the file to include, the args. If the function doesn't exist, it goes through for the base one. That's fine. Form array merge. So there's form ID. So that's not it. Let's look at Drupal prepare form. Oops. Oh, there we go. So form type form, that's expected. I'm seeing if it's setting like a theme hook somehow. Like how does Drupal know to also use that form ID or that form function as the theme hook? So we've got build ID, ID programmed, ensure the token for CSRF, the form ID, form element info form valid, attaches validations. Here we go. If no theme has been set, automatically apply theme suggestions, theme form itself in the theme wrappers, not theme. Therefore, the theme function only has to take care of rendering the inner elements. There's the trick. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this link and I'm putting it here for myself. Let's say where Drupal attached theme based on the form ID. What I should do also is let me go check if, let's look at routing. Hook menu routes. Nope, it was the page controller. The controller, get form. And it's our, so we can't necessarily use the form ID. Oh, here we go, actually. Perfect. We control our own custom form. And this form ID, okay, so we do set the form ID appropriately. Let's go look at the form builder. Build form. And see if I can find if D8 does this. Oh, it does. Okay. If no theme has been set, automatically apply theme suggestions, the form hook itself. Therefore, it says even theme function. All right. So if is not set, it has the theme function here. So let's render, and I guess we'll see what happens. It's still in there. It's still built in. Who knows what's going to happen? So let's do a var export this get raw content and run the test. So theoretically is file. Oh no, that happens when a exception is thrown, I think. So let's dive into where that exception got thrown. It should be, let's run it with the debugger. Oh. Let's debug it. And see if this causes anything to catch. All right, so yeah, there's the theme engine breakpoint from before. Rendered markup, theme function. What's the variables? Theme, okay, here we go. So theme function, theme select form, theming select form, that's what we wanted. Let's go to our twig template. It's going to load this template and call this theme function. Step in. All right, so context, theme hook original is theming example form. Oh, well, here's a bug. Theming. Oh, wait, if function exists. Okay. There, okay, there we go. So we're in here. Let's step down. Let's step up. Now we'll step into, hopefully, all right, so variables, form, title. Here's why. Drupal render children, I have not. There we go. There's the exception. Error, that's an undefined function. So I'm actually really surprised and happy that kind of just worked. Did not expect that. And I also learned a little something new about Drupal, which makes it funny because I guess in commerce we didn't need to attach this, or maybe it just made it a simpler theme hook name, or that changed, or didn't work and finally was ported over. I'm not sure. That we did that a long time ago in commerce. All right, so I'm going to close a few things out and go to the functions file for common. Function. Nope. Drupal render children. We're going to copy this out into here. Got an array. Children keys is supposed to be an array also. Element children is, do some definition. Children keys. If keys of the element are already known, they can be passed to save. So this is an array of string. It's null, which returns a string. So since Retrofit is for Drupal 10, that means it's using PHP 8.1. I'm adding type hints to everything, which kind of could break a backwards compatibility layer promise, maybe. But the idea is this is already bridging legacy code, so at least it's going to make sure you have the right types being passed in. So I guess like if you do use this, it could crash if you're passing like incorrect types, but at least that's an easier bug to fix that you didn't know existed than porting everything to Drupal 10 verbatim. So Drupal render, I did not port over, but I did port over render. Maybe not. So I guess that's the next step is function Drupal render. Oh, that's a lot. So what we'll do is this is going to be like theme. We're going to fetch the renderer and pass that as is. It's going to return a string. Makes elements. Render returns a markup interface. Correct. Yes, I need to change this return type. Why is this not? Rollback changes. Why is this not importing? PHP Storm's being a little weird for me, so I'm going to go ahead and just paste that in and do code, optimize imports. There. Now it's happy. So we got element children, Drupal render. Let's go ahead and run the test and we'll see how far it goes. So printed output. Let's see what it printed. So theming of a form. Let's get back to that test. Theme an example. All right, so that's the page title. So let's get back to the test. Such a bad habit of closing things, but I can't help it. All right. So form class method post except form. You need to figure out what exactly is supposed to be showing up in here. Not this, because that's the text form. Theming example, theming select form. And that's the submit. Theming example text form. We need to go to theming. So we should see container inline. Your choice and submit. Strong. Okay, so we should title. So we should see this text because that's coming from this theme hook. So self assert string contains string. This get raw content. So that's going to assert that the theme function worked. And I don't know if there's an easy way to prove that it's wrapping it in a div. But actually, that's not even part of what we need to test because we know this works by another item. So what we could do, I wonder, I feel like integration routing. Did I not do any test? Did I not automate form testing? I thought I did. Block routing. Yeah, hook form routes test. Let's try this and verify that the themed form actually submits. So where's this form here? Function. Choice, newest first, order and you want. Let's go do request, tutorial 2. Where's the form? This do submit form. And 0. So let's say that choice is edited first and submit. Okay. Let's go. Submit. We should then see self assert string contains string. This get text content so we can remove the emphasis I believe that provides. So input is form values choice. So choice we did edited first, which should be this text. So this is going to prove that form theming works with a theme function and actually submits properly. Oh. This can't. So it registers the test kernel. And I was doing that to catch errors, but I'm going to unregister that. So that means that if anything throws an exception, it errors or bubbles up. But that's how Drupal's form handling works, is it throws an exception and redirects because you do post, then it redirects to a get. So I'm going to just remove that for now. You chose edited first. Oh, it did not translate the label. It took the raw value, and that makes sense. So let's rerun it. All right, so that works. Now let's go to the next one, which would be the text form. And this is the one that's got all the funky, the TPL file. So that's example text form. Example text form. What base test am I using? In this, I have integration test, which extends Drupal's kernel test base. So I'm using kernel test base because these integration tests need to be able to connect and bootstrap Drupal. Now I'm not in a Drupal site, so I only need this one configuration that says simple DB, and it's pointing to SQLite in memory. So the kernel test is just installing Drupal in a memory SQL database, and then it's registering. I have a little bit of helper here because Drupal core is inside my vendor directory, that's why I have this bootstrap file to automatically register a few things and handle some Drupalisms along the way. So it's a mismatch because this is a regular composer package that's executing and integrating with Drupal, not as a module. So yeah, kernel test, just so that way I can create a bootstrap Drupal kernel without rewriting it myself. All right, so text form, which goes to theming text form. I'm going to go ahead and also update this to say text is some testing text. This also says go, submit. You entered some random texting text. Okay, so not this same function, not this one. We already went through here. So this will be the big one, is pre-process, and then we got to load the TPL. So let's see what happens. Let's just go ahead and please input something as the screen that is shown. Now, if I run this, it should crash because the template can't be found. Yep. Theming example text form .html.twig is not defined. So now I need to remember when I need to make a new branch. Let's do this before I forget. PHPTemplate support. All right, I have to shake loose last week how I registered theme hooks. I decorated, no, routing. Why is this under routing? Hook menu registry. Never mind, that's not it. Template, theme function extension, theme, registry. Here we go. Oh, there's the to-do. All right, so to-do, check if template exists or not, then check for template file. All right, so if function exists, process extension for each, else stop equals null. And we can take advantage of namespacing in Twig. So Twig allows you to do namespaces. That's why it has this @retrofit. And I think inside of somewhere we register it. Here we go. So in the container, I dynamically register a new path called that points to this templates directory with the namespace of retrofit. Drupal automatically does this for all modules and themes, but since this isn't a module, the service provider is decorating the Twig loader and adding this call method for us. So I'm going to go ahead and put a breakpoint here and hit go. But one thing I want to do, okay, I have a breakpoint on the pre-process. Let's go ahead and do we're going to create a new template called theme PHPTemplate.html.twig. And let's go ahead and just build the scaffolding for it. So we need to create a new twig function, retrofit theme PHPTemplate, which goes to PHPTemplate. Whoa, typo. So we create a new function. Just copy this and return an empty string because we need to debug what's going on in here. All right, so that creates our theme function. We've got our base. Of this, I mean, let's copy over our theme, this function into the template. So that way we have our baseline set up. So what we need to do is detect if there's a legacy tpl.php available, and then update the theme registry cache to point to theme PHP template in our namespace. So let's debug the test. I'm gonna make sure I'm going for the right one. Let's debug it. And now we need to do some checks inside registry. So we don't want to hijack legitimate twig templates. So, hook. The hook is theming example text form. And if I look at the run, yep. So let's go. I'm going to do right click and make a condition on theme hook is equal to theming example text form. Get back. And then I can hit play and I don't have to sit and like skip through everything. All right. So info rendered element template theme path. So let's go to path equals info path. Nope. Yeah. Path info template, not html.twig. You want to do it is .tpl.php, tpl.php. If file exists and the path. Hey, look at that. Thank you, Copilot, for getting me partially the way there. We don't want it to be this case. We want it to be, actually it didn't get me very far. Copilot did a very basic. So let's say theme, crud, what I call it, lost it. Theme PHP template and path is the retrofit namespace. So I'm just going to go ahead and recopy that, put back my breakpoint. I shouldn't have gotten rid of it. So theme hook is equal to that item. Let's reload. And then I got to see how Drupal 7 actually loaded that file and processed it. I think it should be straightforward. We'll find out. So here, if file exists path, that didn't do it. Path, test data, theme and example, templates. Oh, that's not the path. Oh, theme path. What's the dip? Theme path. fill in the type and path that implements. So the effective get path during render available as directory. But what is path? Path. The path to the template file in use defaults to the subdirectory of templates. Node. Shoot. Shoot. I think this was a difference in Drupal 7 and Drupal 8. It can be in both. I think in Drupal 7, what you had to do is hook theme. I think in Drupal 7 at template, you would actually say /templates, but in Drupal 8, all templates are always moved under the templates directory. So as a way to find out, let's go back to commerce. I'm going to go to the 7.x branch of commerce and find out modules, product, because this is the code base I know best. So under theme, there's our TPL files. Let's look at theme, product list, template. Okay, not a great example because it's in here, but not defined. So product. Oh, because I looked at the wrong, I clicked on product UI module. Let's go to product, theme, path. Okay, so here in Drupal 7, the path was not theme. Shoot. So in this, the path is set correctly. But in here, it's not set because by default, it would be in the base of the module directory. So let's go ahead and process extension. Let me go back to the parent. I'm going to copy the same breakpoint condition. Function hook theme. Hook. I'm going to put a breakpoint here and say hook equals. Go run this again. Theme path result. Because path is passed in where path is the directory where name is. All right. So theme path. Where does it actually change? Here we go. Prepend the current theming path when none is set. This is required for default theme engine to know where templates live. So if is set hook template and the path is not set, it defaults to templates. So what we can do, so path is right. We step in here. Path. So what I think I should do is first, so there's path. Where does it set theme path? It handles all the pre-process functions. Oop. Oh, hold on. All right, info. So I guess we can first do this one. So if file exists, I'm just gonna put it into here. No, I'm gonna path, and let's do theme path equals. So if, or file exists, theme path, have a note. In Drupal 7, the path did not append the templates directory if the path was not set. In Drupal 8, this changed to follow community practices of putting all templates under the template directory. So that could be a bummer to try to fix, but also I guess if that's one thing is folks need to go in and add the path to fix this guessery. That's the end. So yeah, just Drupal 7. It was in the root directory. Everybody put them in either theme or templates. And so if we check path first, that'll pass. If not, we can default back to theme path, which is the preprocess. That's theme. That's the original path. So theme path is the original path. So I think that will do it. Let's run xdebug. I wish there's some way to skip this. Since PHP unit with Drupal runs in isolation, it generates like an in-memory test run, and that's that standard input code. And it breaks. PHP Storm always gets caught there because that's actually the one that's running the code. So I'm going to skip this breakpoint. Okay, here we go. So PHPTemplate, play. Remove this breakpoint. Here's the preprocess. See if this crashes. All right, it's going to try to load the twig template. Maybe I should just, I'm going to step up and step up. Output. Oh, that's for the theme. Okay, let's just hit play. Form element, element label, input, 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 input. Here we go. PHP template. Ta-da. All right, we got our context here. We have text form, which is what this template file is looking for. So it's going to render text form inside inline. The question is, how do we look up the, so theme hook original. We need to figure out how to invoke the template properly. So directory is core. That's not right, but that's fine. So this example, theme example. I really don't know if this is going to render right, but okay. So theme hook original. How am I going to know? I guess if we know the theme hook original needs to be, that's the theme hook. That's not the template. This does not include the, what do you want to call it? The theme, any theme hook information. And template preprocess won't either. Not attributes. Shoot. That's a problem. So how are we going to find this template? Theme hook original. We've got the original theme hook. what we could do. All right, so I'm gonna hit stop. And I think what we need to do is inject the theme registry and do a lookup. So let's look at the core registry. It's not the destructible interface. That's not the interface we want. Get, that gets the complete registry. Get runtime. It's an incomplete runtime registry. This theme, get name, get runtime. Hold on. This get init theme name, registry get name. Runtime, this runtime registry. Get base hook. Return string. No. That's protected, protected. Reset destruct. Okay. So let's. One thing I'm also realizing that might break with code is the registry. Oh no, this could cause problems too. I didn't even try this out. So set theme registry is type hinted on registry. Okay, actually that will work because we extend it. Registry doesn't have an interface, and luckily it's not marked final. So let's try this. Inside of our, this is theme function extension. Maybe I should have made, well, can do rename class. So let's override the constructor, which is likely empty. We'll do private read only. We're going to inject the theme registry. Let's go update our provider to do that decoration or that injection registry. Set decorated service. Add argument. New reference. Wait, no, this isn't. Oh, sorry. Not for there. Here we go. Twig extension. Here we go. Add argument. Our registry. But let's actually add the alias. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Drupal core. Theme H comes after E, so it'd be there. And even then, I don't need the class name. I need the service name. Sorry. Because I'm giving things class names when I decorate them. But here, copy that service name and go. So I should be able to now go into this theme hook extension. Say theme hook equals, we can say test equals this theme registry, get runtime. Get theme hook. So let's run the debugger again. And the problem is that we don't know enough information about the theme hook when it's being rendered to be able to go find that template.php, which means we'll be duplicating some of the work in this registry. And I don't think I can add anything in here to fix that. So actually, I'm just going to move this breakpoint here. So info, template, theme path, function. template preprocess. Okay. Render element form. Well, we got that preprocess going. I'm gonna disable that breakpoint. I want to keep it around, but I don't want to have it. So inside, step into test. Theme. Storage. So there's our array, theme path. Oh, shoot. Preprocess functions. So the template we override. So what we need is to add more information in here where we'll say, oh, I want to avoid doing file exists checks on everything, but let's do a stop and say, we'll call this PHPTemplate equals info template. So I could do, I mean, I don't want to, I guess, I want to put the proper path in. So I guess I can say is path valid equals is theme path valid equals. I don't like doing this because it adds a bunch of extra disk checks when it's not needed. Like if path is valid is true. So why don't we, let's see, I want to try to find a way to. So if file exists path, I'm going to just cut this out. Else if is path. You can always find a smarter way to do this later. I don't like duplicating it, but theme path. So I don't necessarily like duplicating these two things, but at least it's going to set, it lets me set the proper path in the registry. So I can go to this extension. I can break here, info, and re-debug it. And while I'm here, I should go into figuring out how Drupal actually renders PHPTemplate. Like I think I know. Oh, I never hit. Wait. Play. Under Drupal themes, I think it's engines, PHPTemplate. There we go. There's the engine. All right, now we hit this preprocess. I can just drop that so we know that's passing through. Debugger info. We have the PHPTemplate. So say PHPTemplate path. Or we'll say just template path equals info PHPTemplate. And also those files exist might just be cheap because of op cache. So hooking it. So where does it actually render? Find theme functions, find templates. All right. Well, that's not what I was hoping to find. Let's do a... Ow. Let's go back to common. I think that's where everything is. Let's call a let's look for require call. That's not going to be it. Template. No, actually, let's go up from common and into something else. I'm going to hit stop here. I'm pretty sure we just call like require on it. Theme. There should be a theme. Theme.inc. All right. I was hoping it was going to be in the engine itself, but apparently it's not. So theme access, theme initialize, theme get registry, load registry. Hope we don't have to do all these wonderful things to be ported over. Let's go all the way to the bottom and call and that's the thing is it might not even be template. Let's look at if not a set function includes theme path template. There it is. And here we go. Yep, path template. So that's what I was looking at before. Find base themes. Generates theme output. So it's got to be in here. Hook candidate. Yes. Finds the right candidate. Include file. Theme hook original. Base hook. Includes preprocess. Oh, that's right. Drupal 7 had process functions, which don't exist anymore. Theme hook extension output. If is set. Theme render template. So function in the extension. Render function. I'm going to try to open a new. So render function. If type is not module. If theme engine. Render template. Blah, 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 extension. Well, where does this live then? So extension function. Theme engine render template. Render function. Render function template file. Template file is that with the extension. This is for the dynamic extension. So render template. Let's search for that partial. Theme render template. That's the default. Theme render template debug. Here we go. It's in theme.inc after all. Function. All right, pretty simple. So in this case, we would do extract the context. Let's call it template file. Look at there. All right, so this is the original. Now I could copy this function over. I wonder if I should, but I'm not going to because I don't think anybody should be calling this directly. But maybe for all intents and purposes, it would be best. Oh, and not this, not include Drupal root because we have it there. So I'm not going to copy it over. So I am going to put a breakpoint in here and in, I don't need to put it in the TPL. Let's hit debug. See what happens. Play. What does this flag even do? Not defined. So context is all the variables. Extract will be start. Step in. Text form. There it is. Step over. Div. Return the output. There's the text of the arg. But that's one bug. I gotta hit stop. One thing I forgot is that I need to wrap it in markup creates. OB get clean. Could return false, so let's handle that with the ternary operator. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna hit play. And we'll see what happens. Failed asserting that. You entered some random text string. The form didn't submit. I know that much. Choose ordering you want. Wait, what is going on here? Oh, shoot. Because contains string. One thing I want to prove is that these comments will be rendered by the by the PHP template. So I want to prove that those exist. We're going to try submitting the form and see what happens. Holy crap. All right. So I'm just curious. I'm going to do var export this get raw content and just see what is there. But the test shows that it printed, it made the form. So dialog, header, div, theming a form, text form. There's the form class with the action, all the goodness. Begin output of PHP template with that theme hook. There's the comments. And there we go. That's, oh man, this is so cool, but horrible at the same time. Horrible in a good way, like outrageous. That's a better way to put it. It's outrageous. So I'm just gonna go review my diff and then get to the linting of the code. So right, we've got our test here, which turns off that test kernel so we can actually submit the form. Verifies the form submit and get called by theme wrappers or theme functions and their templates. Added the PHP template twig file. See the provider so we can decorate the theme function and get the information we need. Theme registry processes PHP template path and will ignore the twig template. Oh, how do I show the diff in one pane? Sorry, I'm so used to using keyboard shortcuts and I try to say them out loud. So let me reset. So they changed it recently. Well, they didn't change it, but Command 0, so like Control 0 in Windows or Linux, will toggle the commit pane. And then when you're on it, you can do show diff, which is Command D or probably Control D. So, and then escape closes it. So I come in, I use this. Sometimes I do the side-by-side viewer instead. But there is a plugin that displays every keyboard. I should add that So you know what? I think somebody recommended that to me as well. I'm going to take a second and write that down. Um, keyboard shortcut. I can't remember why I didn't do that before. I think I used it. I always meant to use it. Because that way you would see everything, or it was really noisy because it was like showing all my keys. I don't know, but I'll look into it. Thanks for the recommendation. So this looks good. We're getting rid of this to do and getting TPL support. Okay. Presentation assistant with macOS key map plugin. Perfect. Oh, it only shows shortcuts? Okay, thank you. I'm going to save that. Boom. Take a screenshot. Thank you very much. And then templates. Oh, that's right. I want to rename this class. So let's just call this the, and so that I'm doing shift function F6 because it's like F6, shift and F6 are for refactor. I'm just going to call this the Retrofit extension. Now we don't have to rename that, and that's more appropriate because it has all of our retrofit support, which will update the provider. Yep, that's great. Then functions, we've added support for Drupal render children and Drupal render itself. Which while I'm in here, I feel like I should just add support for while I'm in here. Function render. Okay, that's not in here. Yes, it is. Let's just go ahead and add that since we have all the other similar helpers added in. Is the right element show, which, oh, look at that. That is still a function, even though I don't think it does anything. Or isn't respected, rather. Oh, don't do complete format. All right. So that's at least going to be added in. Which means that this is going to return a or mixed. I'm pretty sure. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go do the linting work. CBF. I don't want to actually fix those. Awesome. And then PHP stand, which definitely is going to yell at me over things. I'll cancel. I don't want to actually add it there. All right. Come on, PHP stand. All right. Function has parameter with no value typed. Drupal render children. I thought I added that here. Element has no type specified. Baloney. Oh, it's element, not elements. That's to be fixed. PHPTemplate. Let's go to extension, context. I just got to copy this value or this PHP doc. and rerun, and maybe there's not that many errors. Second. All right. Function show not found. Oh, because we're not loading any existing functions in here. Retrofit extension, line 57. Theme hook. Context. Oh. This is going to want expect string mixed given. Cannot access PHPTemplate on. That I'm going to context. Right? What do you mean? Cannot access offset PHPTemplate on mix. Context context is an array of string mixed. Oh, mixed given, line 58. There you go. But this is saying that it returns mixed or void. I'm gonna harden this here. If file exists, template file, return empty string. And then in here, we're going to say that this returns an array with PHP template. Oh no, locked up. There we go. Going to try to decorate this a little bit. So it's going to have string, template string, and PHP template, which is optional. That's a string. That should fix some of this code. It's probably going to argue still on this line because, yep, key, expect string mixed given. I'm just going to document this as array theme hook original is string. I'll just make PHP stand happy in that regard, even though there's more to it. I'm going to do the same here. And common. So one function error here. We should do PHP stand neon. I need to add this to the dist. I'm just going to show Drupal render. This is errored. Let's go into PHP stands docs because I don't remember how to include an arbitrary file anymore because PHP stand Drupal does that automatically. But with this setup, I can't use PHP stand Drupal. Config reference because it doesn't know how to autoload Drupal in this format. Paths, I don't want to do paths. Config file, multiple files, includes, or discovering symbols. Scan files, here we go. I'm going to add it in here. This, no, not there. Common show. Let's find that file, copy path from content root. Now if I add this, it should be okay. I just need to make sure I update the dist file, the distribution file. I wish the Neon plugin or whatever Neon support recognized the .dist format for Neon also. So I'm going to copy this over, be scanned. And there we go. I'm going to commit this. So then I'm going to hit Command K. And Command K opens the commit, but it automatically highlights everything. So add PHP template support. Let's push. See what the CI says once I get the PR created. Get a PR create. Add template support. Let's go view that pull request. So that's pretty cool. I wasn't sure if this would actually be able to be pulled off, but it looks like in most basic ways it can. I'm sure it's going to break somehow, some way with more robust code, but the main thing is getting baseline support in so people can start trying this and refactoring their Drupal 7 sites to leverage Retrofit and start moving to Drupal 10. All right. Yeah, the diff looks good to me. It says it was just deleted. It was renamed. Let's see what the CI says so far. Oh, the tests. What test that failed? HP unit. Error. Wait, what's... There are 2 errors in hook theme test. Uncaught. Oh. Wait. That. Oh, did I fix? Hold on. Did I fix something? Because I know this is an error, but I didn't think it was going to be caught by... Oh, hold on. Integration. Is that because I... Why would that start happening? So this is a known issue. Because in Drupal 7, you could attach CSS and JavaScript dynamically to the page, but in Drupal 8, that was removed to use libraries. Editor file types should be able to associate that. You're right. Let's go. As I sit here just constantly not bothering to ever do things. Oh, wait. Neon. Net object notation. Let's do neon.dist. Thank you. Should have just done that a long time ago. Ta-da. Thank you so much. All right, this test. Theme hook template hook theme test. List page. This was passing. No. Uncaught. This is supposed to be. Hold on. This list page, uncaught PHP exception. This literally says expect exception. Oh. Wait, uncaught. That's why I needed the test kernel. So I'm going to try something really quick. File changes. Shoot. So if I put this back under register and I rerun the field test, I bet those 2 are going to pass. Oh, shoot. And I left that var export. So, you know, that's a problem. But then we get this issue in submitting a form that it wants to just do submit form. Let's see. what I can try is I'll handle it this way. Try catch enforced response exception. Response. Let's get response. Do form submit. Let's do request. One second. Response post. If follow redirect. Okay. And this request trait is one of my helpers. So I'm going to actually test Drupal test helpers. I'm going to open an issue for this for myself really quick. Track. New issue. Do form submit. Should catch. When test HTTP kernel is active. So what it needs to do is PHP. The do request needs to wrap a try catch and process and take that exception response. So I really want to test these without a form. I want to try something goofy right here. I'm going to do, let's clear out. This is failing. I'm going to debug this test. And try something that's not a good idea. I'm gonna hit play. So you should be able to read the test name. This name. All right. Text form. So let's hit stop. I'm gonna say form if not string ends with form. Wait. No, stop. Stop. Your haystack needle. Haste that this get name form. Let's see. Dirty hack to allow Drupal's form processing to run. Say do remove after that issue's fixed. So now I'm going to run all the tests again. And there's that little to do. So if the test method ends with a form, don't register the test kernel. So that way Drupal's normal like form processing via exceptions works. Looks like that's going to do the ticket. But I guarantee I probably broke some coding standard or PHP stand. Maybe not. All right, cool. That's not the case. This is just finishing. So now I need to figure out like what the next big step is. I've got all, oh, this is so small. Can I, nope. Let me find a way to make that bigger. If I open it with VS Code. All right, so I have all the remaining examples in this directory. And I need to figure out what's going to be the next one to pick. Because one of the biggest concerns was the PHP template. So there's more in the render example. So this could be the next one with render arrays, something more advanced. Because this does tap into pre-render and post-render. So that could be part of it. Trigger example. I think the trigger module's gone. So that's not the case. Yes, tokens would be a big one, but that API is pretty much the same. So yeah, the next step is going to be just kind of going through these. I think the entity example might be the next one, but this goes with defining an entity type, and that's going to be really hard to do. I want to more so handle reading entity data, I think, and I don't know if this provides a really good example. Basic view, yeah, like field attach view, entity prepare view, entity content. This does not look right at all for viewing an entity by putting it as a property. That just seems wrong. Yeah, so I really want to start moving some entity stuff, but I don't have good example code to work off of. That'll be one thing. Let's go. Do not register test HTTP kernel if form test push. So yeah, that's going to be the next thing I need to figure out is what is exactly next, especially since, you know, it's kind of a what do you want to say, experimental thing that's new, so it's not like people are actually adopting it and trying it out. It's kind of like a novelty at the moment. So I need to wait for some more adoption to know what should actually be built. Like action plugins still exist, so this could be used to port over actions to plugins. That seems reasonable. Ajax could be more complicated if this adds a... Oh, this does not add a custom Ajax command. Ajax render link. Drupal add library. That's going to be something that has to be figured out as well. That could be one. I'm going to make an issue for that. So, new issue. Drupal add library. I don't believe... Yeah, that's not a function anymore. That got removed. Add support for library. Collect all registered libraries. Use hook. Use hook. Page attachments to register the libraries. It's like that could be one. All right. So let's see. This passed now. I'm going to squash and merge. We have PHPTemplate support. I'm going to go ahead and create a new release to get this out there for folks to use if they want to use it and play around with it. So let's... Oh, that's 01.1. Let's create a release of 1.2. I honestly don't know at this point what's going to constitute a 0.2. I know technically some people would say like, oh, well, you added features here. It should be 0.2. But I'm going to call it 0.1 for now. And until it's a little bit more fleshed out. Because otherwise it's going to be at like, what, 0.100 after a week? So yeah, that's great. I'm going to put it as a pre-release, create a discussion in case anybody wants to talk about it. And there we go. That has now been out, or been released, rather. So that's it. I'm at the end of my stream. Next week, I will probably jump back to um, PHP stand Drupal probably. Yeah, I think with in the 0.2 would be a breaking change. Like, oh hey, I know you're using this as unstable, but as a nicety, something did change. Um, or there's like a major feature or rewrite. So I have a feeling it's basically going to be 0.1 until it becomes 1.0, because I can't think of any kind of subtle breaking change to communicate down the road. So I agree with you there. All right. So yeah, if you're curious, try out Retrofit with your Drupal 7 code. I do need some code examples to work against besides just the examples. I know long ago my joke was to get Drupal Commerce 1.x to work in Drupal 10, but let's face it, that's going to be near impossible because that means the address module, token, and the old entity reference module works. That it's not realistic, but I need to find some good sample D7 code. And I don't have any because I haven't worked on Drupal 7 in like since 2016. Rate another stream. I actually don't know how you rate another stream with Twitch. I'm a complete Twitch noob. Um, and all that. Like I just make sure I hop on, do my coding, so that way I have fun with my open source projects. But I do end at 4 o'clock all the time, and it's 10 minutes too. So I will be prepared for rating next time and all that. So thanks again for hanging out. I'll be back next week hacking on PHP Stand Drupal or Retrofit. See you later.